Life and works of Naqshbandi, Sheikh Hazrat Mazhar Jana. Hazrat Mazhar Jana Razillah Ta'ala Unu. Whenever we take the name of a sheikh, we use the word Razi Allah Ta'ala Unu, one with whom the Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is in harmony with. ये दो स्थितियां, two stages are there. First is the stage of fana, when the drop merges in the ocean. You are flowing with existence. When you are constantly flowing in existence and you reach to a point where now existence begins to flow into you, each sheikh has attained to that state where the existence flows into you. We use the word Razi Allah Ta'ala. A little historical perspective is necessary in order to enter into the life and works of Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan Rasulullah Ta'ala. Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan Rasulullah Ta'ala. There were a lot of turmoil. The Mughal Empire was disintegrating. The important to understand the state of Indian subcontinent in historical perspective. The northwest province of India was vulnerable to invasions and insurrections of many kinds. Most important of these were the invasions that came from Muslims from outside the subcontinent. In India, there were several feudal conflicts in small princely states. They were constantly at war with one another. Among each other for supremacy. Lack of unity among these kings, and as a result, they were unable to protect the country against any outside invasion. Against any outside invasion. Mughal Empire, although Babur established the Mughal Empire, but it was disintegrating as well, undergoing various stages. At that moment, in 1469, there emerged Guru Nanak as a great opposing force to the existing Muslim ruler for their atrocities, religious beliefs of conversion into Islam. There were other saints, mystics like Kabir, Tulsidas, etc., but they were not radical and continued their role in the spiritual field alone. It was only Nanak who was radical against any kind of atrocities. Nanak tried to bring the two factions, the Hindu and Muslim, together in a reconciliatory approach. He started the Sikh religion, the tenets of Hinduism and that of Muslim. Nanak had two disciples, Bala and Mardana. One was Hindu, the other was Muslim. Sikh religion developed. as a synthesis between the two opposites. On the other hand, the atrocities, the Mughal Empire was in the hands of Aurangzeb. Mughal Empire was in the hands of many atrocities took place in the hands of Aurangzeb, the Emperor of Delhi at that time, the Mughal Emperor. So much so that the sons of Guru Gobind Singh attained to martyrhood. And in the Sikh Gurdwara opposite Roza Sharif. So, the imperial troops besieged the fortress at Jamkur in December 1705, leading to the second Battle of Jamkur. The two elder sons of Guru Gobind Singh died in the battle. Guru asked the remaining disciples to get ready for the final charge and the fighting. However, the disciples insisted that his survival was necessary. He got separated from his companion and reached another place after passing through various places. The place where the younger sons of Guru Gobind Singh were executed by cremating live in the wall stands opposite Roza Sharif, the Khanqah of Sheikh Mujaddid Ali Sani. At that time, Sheikh Muhammad Masoom was the Naqshbandi Sheikh and was even the spiritual advisor to the Emperor Aurangzeb, and yet still these atrocities happened. Now at that place stands a Sikh Gurdwara to narrate the saga of Muslim atrocities. Such was the role of the Naqshbandi Sheikh during that time, as they neither actively advised the ruler nor did anything to stop the atrocities of the Mughal emperor. Aurangzeb was a disciple of Sheikh Muhammad Masoom. Aurangzeb died. Soon after that, soon the rightful heir, descendant to the Mughal throne, sought the Guru's assistance in winning his kingdom. It was the envy and the fear of growing friendship between the new emperor and Guru Gobind Singh, which led to a sneak attack on Pathan, assassin of Wazir Khan, who inflicted the wound which later caused the death of Guru Gobind Singh. After Aurangzeb's death in 1707, the process of disintegration of the Mughal Empire began. Many changes were taking place in the political, social, and spiritual horizon of the country. Aurangzeb expanded the empire to include almost whole of South Asia. But at his death in 1707, many parts of the empire were in open revolt. Aurangzeb's son, Shah Alam, repealed the religious policies of his father and attempted to reform the administration. However, after his death, he could not stay for too long. After his death in 1712, the Mughal dynasty sank into chaos and violent feuds. In the year 1719 alone, 4 emperors successfully ascended to the throne. During the reign of Muhammad Shah, the empire began to break, and vast tract of Central Asia passed from Mughal to Maratha hands. The Indian campaign of Nadir Shah culminated with the sack of Delhi and shattered the remains of the Mughal power and prestige, as well as drastically accelerated the decline and the alarming other of invaders, including the later British. Many of the empire's elites are now sought to control their own affairs and broke away to form independent kingdoms. This affected the Naqshbandi tariqa tremendously. Many lines of descent emerged from Sheikh Ahmad Sarindi Mujaddid al-Afsani. At such time, Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan appeared on the spiritual horizon. He was from the lineage of Mujaddid al-Afsani. Mujaddid al-Afsani, his Khalifa, Hazrat Khwaja Muhammad Masoom Raziyallahu. Thereafter, the son of Hazrat Khwaja Muhammad Masoom became the next Sheikh of the Naqshbandi order, Hazrat Sheikh Saifuddin Raziyallahu. These three saints, three mystics, Hazrat Mujaddid al-Afsani Raziyallahu, Hazrat Khwaja Muhammad Masoom, Hazrat Khwaja Sheikh Saifuddin Raziyallahu, they had their shrines and lived in Sirhind, outskirts in the capital city of Punjab. From there, the lineage moved to Delhi, to Hazrat Nur Muhammad Badayuni, and the chief Khalifa of Hazrat Nur Muhammad Badayuni was Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan. He appeared on the spiritual horizon. He succeeded in averting these trends of fragmentation and disintegration. Such trends are quite normal after the death of the Sheikh. Through his understanding of the tariqat, nisbat, and intellectual acuteness, Mirza Mazhar was able to resurrect the spiritual and the social legacy and the fabric. He had inherited the tariqat from illustrious sheikhs at a time when the large part of the northern India was in a state of great turmoil. Also, the Islamic society was facing the threat of disintegration and this subsequent destruction. Mazhar Mir played an important role. As a result, tariqat first came to be known as Samshya Mazhariya, and later on it came to be known as Naqshbandiya, Mujaddadiya, wa Mazhariya. And this name got stuck and remained, and to date it is known as Naqshbandiya, Mujaddadiya, wa Mazhariya, thus providing evidence of the role that he played in the restoration of the tariqat. Both just to let me do one thing here. As the tariqat came to be known as Naqshbandiya, Mujaddadiya, wa Mazhariya. Before Mirza Mazhar, tariqat was confined only to the seekers of the Islamic origin. However, he marks a significant shift in original tariqat and started initiating seekers from Hindu environment as well. It was Hazrat Mazhar Mir Jan-i-Janan. That's why it is beginning of a new dawn. From Hazrat Mazhar Mir Jan-i-Janan, a new dawn came on the spiritual horizon of the Naqshbandi tariqa. A new dawn. Before Hazrat Mazhar Mir Jan-i-Janan, the Naqshbandi tariqat was confined only to the seekers of the Islamic origin. However, he marks a significant shift in the original tariqat and started initiating seekers from Hindu environment because that was the major religion at that time and even now to date. He marks a significant shift in original tariqat and started initiating seekers from Hindu environment. This was a major shift from the main tariqat. This began at Khanqa at Shahjahanabad. Also, he provided his affiliates with his spiritual leadership in this direction. And this continued even to this date. This marks the beginning of new trends in the tariqa. Mirza Mazhar Mir Jan-i-Janan, therefore, marks a distinctive departure from the existing trends and laid the foundation for the new beginning, for the advent of new dawn, for the advent of the Hindu influence, for the beginning. It was preparing the ground for the advent of Sheikh Ramchandra and his younger brother, Sheikh Raghuvatya. Still, there is another reason for this, for the importance laid on Mirza Mazhar. He stands at the threshold. He comes from Mujaddadi Tariqat. He is first accredited Mujaddadi authority to pronounce him openly on Hindu tradition from an Islamic standpoint. He laid equal importance to both traditions and thus laid the foundation of a new beginning. That's why he is significant. In one of the writings, Mirza Mazhar gave a detailed account of the basic Hindu traditions. He gave a detailed account of basic Hindu tradition. Also, he concluded that Hindus had their own share of divine revelations in the past. Not only that, the tradition delivered this to humanity through its messengers and incarnations in the form of Ram and Krishna, said Mazhar Mir Jan-i-Janan. With Mirza Mazhar, Islamic perception of Hindus took a new trend and definitely marks the beginning of a new chapter. He introduced Hindu community to Ahle Kitab, and this marks the radical innovatory deviation from existing Islamic perception of Hinduism. Existing Islamic perception of Hinduism. This marks the practical and liberal view of the Sheikh towards Hindus, liberal view of Hazrat Mazhar Mir Jan-i-Janan towards Hindus. This came as a surprise for the orthodox Naqshbandi Sheikh. With Mazhar Mir Jan-i-Janan, the tariqat was known for its orthodoxy. The tariqat that was known for its orthodoxy began to show quite liberal attitude and thus he began to initiate seekers from Hindu fold. Mirza admitted a significant number of Hindus and thus marks the beginning of a new era in tariqat. That's why I said with Hazrat Mazhar Mir Jan-i-Janan Raziyallahu Ta'ala Unu begins the third phase of the development of the Naqshbandi tariqat in Indian subcontinent. He gave hints for this in his letters. It is really difficult to mention how many were thus included into the fold. One thing is certain, that this generosity marks the definite shift from the existing norms of traditional Islamic influence. Thus, the presence of Hindus in his halqa indicates that Mirza Mazhar showed no objection in initiating giving bath to non-Muslims. Thus, Mirza Mazhar Jan-i-Janan holds an important place in the Renaissance, or the major shift in the tariqa. It was a moment of Renaissance. This is a mere coincidence that that he held in high esteem, that he is held high esteem among the Hindu seekers. For this, the socio-political circumstances played an important role. The death of Emperor Aurangzeb in 1707 accelerated the emergence of non-Islamic force in the form of Sikhs, Jat, Maratha, and European colonists. As a result of these trends, Muslims were forced to confront an unprecedented situation wherein their temporal authority, as guided by the Islamic principle and its tradition and its traditional values, for the maintenance of an Islamic world, could no longer be taken for granted. There were many Muslim intellectuals like Shah Wali Allah Dehlvi, Shah Wali Allah Dehlvi, who was the disciple, one of the Khalifa of Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan, his son Shah Abdul Aziz, Khwaja Muhammad Nasir Andalib, and his son Khwaja Mir Dard, Shah Kalim Allah Shahzanawadi, and many others. They had no answer to such deep crisis. Under such circumstances, many sought refuge in the Khanqa and the madrasa of the spiritual and the religious leader for the continuity and stability of their order. Thus, they began to assume a broader leadership role by attracting people of all sections, including the Hindu faction. Because of such changing behavioral patterns, Sheikh began to attract large cross-section of the seekers into their tariqa. This got further accentuated by the invasion of Nadir Shah in 1739, followed by that of Shah Ahmad Durrani in 1761. This gave a blow to cities' status and thus led to the migration of Muslim intellectuals towards the provincial centers in Awadh and in the northern Gangetic plain and towards Hyderabad, in Golconda, in the Deccan. Also, the feeling of insecurity grew and led to social unrest and conflict between the rival Shia and Sunni groups. The inconsistent religious policies of the emperor further deepened the situation. Under these circumstances, people sought refuge under the spiritual and the religious leaders. Their khanqa and madrasa were secluded, with secluded surroundings, continue to provide security and the continuity of the existing old order. Many Sufi sheikhs observed the deepening crisis that was affecting the outer world recognized the urgency to counteract the centrifugal tendencies of this crisis. This required a much broader and liberal role in leadership. This process began by enrolling a large number of seekers from other folds into the tariqa. Many deputies and delegates and their spiritual successors, khulfa, were appointed and sent to different and faraway corners of the country. The Naqshbandi tariqa under Mazhar Jan-i-Janan witnessed a major shift and adaptation of more liberal approach. Mirza felt the need for a corrective measure to stop the process of disintegration, and he witnessed all around. Thus continued the Hindu influence. Such trends were adopted and followed by the later Naqshbandi sheikhs that continued. Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu was born in 1113 Hijri or 1701 AD, and he passed away. He entered into Alam-e-Ghaib in 1195 Hijri or 1780. The Renaissance in the existing Naqshbandi tariqat began with Sheikh Shamsuddin Habibullah Mirza Mazhar Jana, Mirza Mazhar Albi Shahid. He was the embodiment of the inner sun of awakening as a result of bliss, propagator of Haqq. He was pious and the flag of tariqat high. He brought about a revolution in the tariqat and revived it as well. We'll continue the biographical sketch of Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan in tomorrow's session. The historical perspective was very important to understand the circumstances and situations that prevailed at the time when Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu appeared on the spiritual horizon just a few days ago. In Old Delhi at Turkman Gate, deep inside is the shrine of Hazrat Mazhar Jan-i-Janan, where the Urs took place. In commemoration of that Urs, I undertake this session. We'll continue the biographical sketch in tomorrow's session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.